This is Generation Ministries, and today we're going to be talking about temptation.
And I know I was just like thinking over here, like, let's say, there's things in your life that you're working on, that you're trying to get better at, that are like more of like your weak points. And those things, how you say in Russia, like, the devil ain't gonna tempt you with something that you don't care about. And then, let's say that first time, the devil tempts you with it and you succeed. And then the next time he tempts you, you fail. And it's like when you fall, it seems like you fail harder than the first time you messed up. It just hurts so bad, like after you get done doing something, like at the moment, you feel great, like okay, but then afterwards, you feel like crap.
Right.
Because I could say personally, after for a long time, I was doing so great, and then I mess up. It's like I fall harder than what I did when I didn't care. It like hurts me so much more, and it just makes me want to give up.
You lose all that you built up the first time.
And you know what?
And it breaks the relationship that you have with God. Like
You gotta
it make it so much.
restart
It make it so much harder for you to get back. Or get to a different spot with God, to get to that higher point, to move on, to say, okay, God, I'm for you, and then you fall, and then you be like, I still want to be for you, but I'm down here and I can't get up, and all in all, and like you just want to be like, man, I wish I was where I was at. But when you really don't wish you were where you were at, you should wish that you are ahead of where you were.
Right.
Because it helps you grow. But I know like afterwards, I'm like, I can't even go to God and ask for forgiveness. I'm like, I can't even go to God and even pray and ask him to help me with this, or I just can't talk to him, period, because like, he's like my best friend, and it's like if you hurt your best friend really bad, then you will feel bad even facing them and talk to them and think that's God. That's like, our Father and stuff. So he gave everything for us, and then we can't even like set aside our little desires for our personal gain. Like, but I know that like God forgives us and stuff, but still, you just have to get over that.
He asks us to do so little, and he gives so much.
And then, and I know what you were talking about. It's like, you said like, well, it's kind of like I was doing what I was doing before, like it didn't hurt that bad. Because at that point you were in the devil's hands.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you don't know that you're doing wrong because he's throwing all these things at you, telling you it's right or whatever. But when you have once been in God's hands, and you know when you do wrong and you feel so crazy, but when you with the devil, it's just like, oh, okay, well maybe that was bad, maybe,
Right.
But
Ain't gotta worry about it.
Exactly, and you in God's hands, you just like, oh my goodness.
And a lot of people when they I'm sorry.
Oh no.
But a lot of people when they build that relationship up with God and they feel like they're doing so good and they just mess up, like it just put people at this point where you just be like, well, I ain't even no point in me trying again. I already know, like people just lose that. Like it's just crazy how like powerful your flesh can be, like how it can be influenced by a lot of stuff and like the flesh.
Yeah, and me and Russia was talking about this one day. It was about oh.
The Passion of Christ?
No. What was you just saying?
Flesh, darn flesh, yeah.
Too flesh.
What were just
Flesh week, what flesh?
I'll think about the way.
Okay.
I know, like what you were just saying, like we were, like when we were, well, all of y'all were just saying about how when we were kind of out there doing whatever we was doing, we were just in the devil's hands or whatever, like he ain't had nothing to worry about. Right. He ain't had to tempt us with nothing, he had to pull us with nothing because it was the rap. He already had to see like, right, I might as well go mess with Susie because Billy, he already over here doing what I got him doing, he cool, I ain't gonna worry about it.
The Lord.
Right. So then you like, you step into it and then he like, oh wait, they didn't heard about you. Wait, what? What, Jesus? He said, like, hold on, no, they did not just tell her about Jesus. Now she about to go and try to live right. Now I gotta do something. And so it's like, that's why we kind of fall so hard. I mean, that's why when we do fall, we fall so hard because he's like, oh, okay, now I gotta keep him down. Now I gotta keep him down. And that that feeling of being so wrong or being so, when you get that build up, when you get that sense of God, when you feel him, when you acknowledge him for the first time or period, you get that sense and you're growing in him. So you have that discernment. You know when you get something wrong right there. As soon as you do what you like, because you're growing in that. That shows you that you're growing, that you're going in that. And so for you to, when you have those thoughts, because I'm guilty of it too, when you have those thoughts like, oh, I can't go to God, or I'm a failure now, that's like the devil. Okay, this is my chance. Maybe I can keep her down. Maybe I can keep her down. Maybe I can keep him down and keep him from trying to strive to go higher. And so you just gotta keep that in mind too.
Okay, no, I remember now. So, me and Russia was in the car one day, you know, I was driving her home.
Right.
Sorry about that,
You laughing because I'm going to go put you out. I'm about to let you lie. Repent.
Just joshing. We were talking about like when you fail and then you try to get back up, but you feel fake. Like it's almost like, oh, why am I up here? Yeah, you know, like, oh, why am I up here like this? Like, that's so fake. I just failed yesterday, you know, I just, you know, was just down about, yeah, you know, or something like that, you know. And then she told me, she's like, no, don't have that view on it. And then I forgot what you said. You can say that.
Oh, I was saying that, like, no, don't have the view on it because you're not, because if you really are striving, we all fall short. And I don't have that scripture, but we all fall short of the glory of God, and this tells us that clearly. That doesn't make excuses for our wrong actions, but that we always have to keep striving to be better. Even when we mess up, even when we fall, we still have to keep striving to keep going forth. We can't say, oh, well, I'm fake. I can't praise God now, or I can't tell somebody about Jesus. I messed up. No, yes, you can. You still have to be that light to somebody because you still know, you know? Sorry, I got a little fierce. I'm sorry. Okay. Because I deal with that with myself so much. You know what I mean? Like, Russia, you messed up. Russia, you did this. And people looking at you. Russia, you did this. People are looking at you. How could you do that? How could you talk to somebody about Jesus? What do you mean, how can I talk to somebody about Jesus? Because I know. Because that's my Savior. Yeah, I messed up, but that's my Savior. I'm about to go tell somebody else. You know?
Right. So that they don't make that mistake. Yeah, and yeah, and that's something like, oh man, let's go.
Even when like even like the littlest things, like you could just be like so for God, like, okay, God, I'm doing this, and then you could just sit there and be like, okay, you're not doing nothing, then you would just get thoughts and your head, and them thoughts be like,
baby, crazy. You be like,
oh my God, what is really happening?
Right.
But it's just that strong, it's that that temptation is just so, oh my God.
And that shows us like we don't even have to be in a bad environment for the devil to pick at us. You know what I mean? You can be in your
church. That's the worst. I feel like in the opera. You be in church, that thought comes in your head. You be like, oh,
I know. I mean, don't you think that the pastor or somebody gonna read your thoughts?
like they about to rebuke you out the church.
And then don't let them make eye contact with you.
Right,
You be like, oh.
And then you can just sit there like, how did I really just think about that? And it's like the altar is right here.
Start praise and worship.
Hey guys, okay, in my study hall, my friend asked me like, I didn't know how to answer his question because I didn't know what he was talking about. Well, he was basically saying like, he was wondering how, did I think I know I had an idea about how God felt when you fall asleep in church. Seriously, like, he really wanted a serious answer, like, how do you think God felt about me falling asleep in church the other day? Like, when you be, like, it hit you at this wrong time. You be all into the word, the pastor be all running around the stage and saying what you gotta say and getting that message out to you, and you listening and you just be like, man. And you be like, oh. And I'm really wondering, like, how does that make God feel to know that you in church and you sleep when you supposed to be sleeping before you got to church? You supposed to be in church worshiping Him and praising His name, and you in here asleep talking about, you know.
That's my dilemma. That's probably the one thing I can't get over. No matter what.
You can't, that's the devil.
It's hard. I mean, that's the toughest thing for me to get over. I go to church as much as possible. Some things got problems going, sometimes it don't. But whenever I get there, it seems right when the music cut off, I want to go back to bed.
Right, and that's the last thing the enemy wants. He wants you to hear that music. You get to moving. You can clap all you want to.
Right.
Ain't no big deal.
He like, I can't wait till this stuff goes.
What I really need is the word.
that Bible open up.
He don't want you to read that word. He don't want you. He don't want that person to feed that word to you, to give you that nourish. I can't say it. Nourishment. Yeah. He don't want that, because then as soon as when you nourish something, it's like a seed. When you water that plant, it's gonna grow. It's gonna begin to fill itself out. And once you get that word, which is knowledge and nourishment to the body and to the soul, to the spirit, and it's trying to kill the flesh, the devil's like, no, you about to tone out whatever he's saying. You gonna be somewhere off in space.
And even if it do start growing, as soon as he see that they got a little length on it, he gonna go get the biggest axe he got, and he just gonna whack the axe. Oh my god.
And then what you said, something that made me triggered in my head. Well, you said you get the word or whatever, you're fed the word, and then he doesn't want that to happen, because that's when you start to challenge him with God, who gives the power to you that will defeat him. You know what I mean? So he doesn't want you. What? No, he doesn't want you to get that knowledge or whatever to fight him. He wants to be over you, and he knows that once you have that power, that you have that authoritative power from God, that he cannot do anything with that, So, and that's one of the reasons why. So, just stay prayed up about falling asleep in church, because it's so. I'm not going to lie. It's difficult. It's difficult, but if you keep staying, you stay prayed up or whatever, you ask the Lord to just keep you awake during the sermon or whatever, and He will do it if you really want it, and if you really just I'm gonna just ask God.
That's one of my big problems,
Cause I know,
this Sunday, I don't know, I'm sitting in bed, and my mom told me the night before, you're going to church with me. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I'm getting up in the morning, expecting her not to get up. And she come in my room, why didn't you dress? You need to get up and go in the shower and get ready for church. I'm like, okay. So I get ready. I got an attitude, because I don't like getting up in the morning. I'm not a morning person at all. So I'm sitting in church, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I have no idea why I'm here. And it's just I just want to go to sleep. I'll be in the car,
it's like you block everything out.
I need 2 more hours of sleep, and then I'll just be okay. And then I could just go to church, and I'll be alright.
And then you say that or whatever, and then the devil let me get close
to her. And I'll just be sitting there, I'll lean on her.
Exactly.
And she'll push me up. And I'm just I just want to leave. And then, if I leave, it's and then the whole church will be why did she sleep?
And then it also comes with us finding somewhere that that really feeds us. I know when we're younger, we gotta go wherever our parents go. But as we start getting older, we can start kind of seeing stuff like that'll grab us, places that we're actually getting fed. So
yeah.
Just for the viewers just turning in right now, we are talking about temptation.
Or not.
About what Corian said about the devil. As soon as you get that word, you get that nourishment, the devil trying to come at you cause I know, and then I don't know, I can't explain it, but I know what I'm trying to say. I know okay, I went to church a couple of Sundays ago. I keep talking about this because this message really got to me. The Good Shepherd, that message really was it made me a better person. It took me to that next step. And I know as soon as I got out of church, I heard this song and I be jamming to it. I'm car, didn't I just get out of church? Did he just tell me and they were no, you ain't just get out of church. Keep on dancing to that song. I just turned the radio off. I just changed the station. You're not about to tempt me. I just heard this good word that's gonna make me a better person and help my walk with God and strengthen our relationship. I'm no, I just turned the radio off.
When you're saved and you have a relationship with God, temptation comes even harder.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna do this to make me feel better.
Exactly. I'm telling you, once the devil know that you got God in your life, he takes something that's so precious to you, your family, and just he gets ready.
Boom!
Wow. And you just be hurt I know he didn't do that. And then you just be you little devil, you.
You be trying to fight I know you did. I didn't do that. Devil, I know you ain't gonna do that.
Because it's we sit here right now, and I don't somebody brought it up or whatever. you be sitting here and you be talking about all this stuff or whatever, and something's like popping your mind, like something that you're not supposed to be thinking about right now in this place or whatever. Like we talking like this whole environment or whatever. We talking about God right now. A song just popped in my head, and I'm sitting here and I'm just like, oh no, I'm not supposed to listen to this song, and I know as soon as I go home. My iPod is in my purse. I'm gonna pull it out and just listen, just like, girl.
Tiffany, remember? Tiffany got on me about my iPod. She was like, girl, what? I know I had a, one day I finally got the strength to go home and take the songs off. And then for a long time, you know, then I put like.
And they came back on. Then next thing you know, it's a whole folder.
Like 2. But you know, I don't even listen to my iPod. I misplaced thing.
That was God.
But yeah.
But how we also,
but
like we all sitting here talking about this, we know that's the devil in us because trying to tempt us because we know what the truth is, we know the way, the right way, and we know. So we gotta press on, we gotta go forward. We can't let that
be our excuse.
Yeah. When I read the book of Job, it said that the devil had to get permission from God to mess with Job. So the devil has to go through God, and God is going to be testing you to see if you're really in His word, like you say you are, or like you say you want to be, or how He wants you to be. So when the devil go to God and asks, oh, can I mess with her? God gonna do it and be like, I just want to see if she's steady in the word.
Stand by.
I think. Well, what I was gonna say was that I think like one of the biggest misconceptions that people get is that the Christian lifestyle is easy.
Man, woo!
It's really not. Like it's so much work that you gotta do to be where you want to be.
Exactly.
Like if you really want to be down for God, there's certain things that you gotta give up.
Yes.
There's certain things that you gotta do. There's the word that you gotta be. You gotta be committed.
Right. And you also gotta stop worrying about what other people think because it's you and him, and it's not y'all. It's not.
And why, you know, like even other people use, like the devil uses other people sometimes to get you down. Like how you saying you can't care about other people. Like let's say you really trying to like tell somebody else, don't do this, don't do this. And let's say you mess up and do it. Everybody, oh, you a hypocrite.
Right.
You
Exactly.
Oh, you a Christian. You can't say this. You can't say that. And I'm like, well, you a Christian too.
That's the
And then they're like, oh, well, you're you holy. Yeah, you're like, no, you're holy Christian. And I'm like, what do you mean?
That's the devil.
And ain't nothing but the devil trying to bring
That is so crazy because in the book of Job, the devil takes his wife and tells his he worked through his wife and told his wife told him you should rebuke what?
Right, forget about God.
You forget about your God and come over here and do this with us, Job told her no, and he's like, I'm with my God.
And that's too, like, when you are a Christian, people look at you like that much harder. Like, they want you to mess up, and it's kind of like, dude, I'm a person too, you know? It's like, I'm just like you, and then, you know, and then you said something about, no, it was Anwar. He is like, you know, you gotta give up certain things, and that was one of my problems at first. I'm like, man, I gotta stop doing this, I gotta stop doing that. And then somebody finally came and just like, Corian, look, dude, look at what you gonna gain from this. It's like, remove all of that stuff, you know, but you're gonna gain so much. Oh my Lord.
Like, I got a verse right here, Job chapter 23, verse 10. And it's talking about, what it says is, but he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. So when you go through all the stuff that you go through, just know that at the end of the day that you'll be as pure as gold.
Pure as
And that was the other thing that I wanted to say, like, you know, it's so awesome how God loves us so much.
I know, right?
And then he's kind of like, you know, the devil like, let me try Corian, let me try, you know, Toddy or whatever. And then he's like, go ahead, I know my child gonna be with me, you know? And it's so awesome just to have that feeling like that, like, dang, thank you, God, because, you know, you, like, just have so much, you know, faith in me and everything, and it's so great.
Wait, what is that scripture in the Bible? Like what you just said, I know my child will be, who did, was it Job? Was it Job?
It was.
Yeah.
It was Job. See, Job is a pure lot. See?
Check this out. Mark chapter 8, verse 36 and 37. Right when you said that about how much you gonna gain.
Mark what?
Mark chapter 8, verse 36 and 37.
What verse?
36, 37. I have much for you to have to think about, but we just gonna do this one.
I had to know how much it is.
36 and 37?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
Yes. Corian. 30. Mark?
Oh, we're in
Oh,
Matthew.
Duh.
Yeah, that's in Mark. I mean,
Hey, you are in this together.
Mark 8, 36. 37, okay.
Yeah, like you just said that, like how much you're gonna gain. And it says here, it says, what good is it for a man to gain the whole world but forfeit his soul? Or what can a man give in exchange for his soul? If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of him when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels. Whew, that's high.
Get on my face, I don't know you.
That's crazy. That is so.
And can y'all, I think one of my biggest fears is like to be right there before them.
Like,
And just like, dang, well I did do. Like, and he just looking at me like, so, I mean, what you want, like, I've been trying to, like, if you just sit and think about that, you'll be like, I cannot.
Right, you're supposed to give an account. You think,
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
this my good list, I'll wait my bad list.
They're like, yeah, this is good.
I tried.
Bad.
I know. Like,
You
you're
don't
not
want to
just
tell
gonna-
people, can I count on your
Can I borrow some of your good things?
Can we get a 5 for one?
Right. And it is kind of scary because you don't get you don't get a training ground. You don't get no proving ground. You here, and then you one of the other ones. You know what I mean? It's like you don't get no in between. Let me get clean. Let me get purified. You don't get none of that. You know, you get what you doing here on earth. You know.
it's crazy that you're talking about in between because like sometimes I feel like I'm in between. And reading Revelation, he don't want you to be in between. He don't want you to be lukewarm. He wants you to be hot or he wants you to be cold.
Oh, exactly.
It's crazy.
I like warm water.
Don't nobody like no lukewarm water.
Jesus.
Jesus like that hot water.
What about that break between warm and hot? Just like.
How about you just be hot?
How about you just jump over that fence?
Right,
Instead of trying
right.
to
You
straddle.
be right there. You be right.
Well, that one little
You
toe.
know.
That analogy I gave, I think it was like last year in choir was like if you're drinking some tea, don't nobody drink no lukewarm tea. It's either hot or it's iced. You know, you don't drink hot. I never heard nobody drinking lukewarm tea. Some people are just weird. But you know, I mean, think of yourself. You don't want nothing hot or lukewarm. It's either hot or cold.
God
Especially
don't
tea.
want no lukewarm tea either.
I know.
He don't want it.
Right. You know, it's like, you know, you gonna go ahead and do what you gonna do. Just do it. Like, don't even try to play with God. Just be like, look, God, I ain't about to do it. I'm about to go to hell with a bang. I'm about to do whatever. I'm about to just go. I would do everything I'm about to just do whatever I want to do. All the stuff that I've been having.
Why would you do
No,
that?
you wouldn't. But that's what I'm saying, though.
You
like,
might as well,
why,
like,
right.
it ain't gonna matter.
If you're
If you gonna do a little sin,
they ask for us.
Right.
Grace and mercy. You probably.
Bro,
Like we were just talking about
break hell
today.
pipe.
Right, break hell wide open. It's
You
like
don't go to
either
hell. I'm not about to go to hell for this little sin when I could.
Right.
I might as well
just do what I'm doing. It's like I'm
Live
about to
life.
choose Jesus, or I'm about to do my thing, and I'm about
Choose
to do
Jesus.
it bad. I'm about to do it. Right, please choose Jesus. Don't let hell crack open for you, please. Don't bury yourself in it.
That wasn't what we just said about breaking. That wasn't a suggestion. You know, choose Jesus. You know, that's
And then when I was in church, no wait, it was crazy because I was right away in one of them. It was one of them mornings and you just be in there, you be like, so I'm dozing off and then she just caught my attention. She like, so say you supposed to be friends with God, like you and God supposed to be real cool. So she like, how many of y'all got best friends? You know, everybody got somebody. Oh, that's my best friend. I'll do anything for. So they like, well, you supposed to be so cool with your best friend. Say you and your best friend fall out. Y'all not cool. Y'all not talking. Best friends always, you know, like you gonna try to be that cool with your best friend. I mean, that's your best friend.
Right.
So she like, how you think God feel? God see you as his child more than just his child. Like y'all supposed to be the closest. Like
Right.
Like y'all supposed to have this bond, and then she like, and you just constantly playing God. She like, that's like you keep playing your best friend. Your best friend not gonna wanna fool with you no more. So she like, just think of all those sins you do. Every time you sin, you playing God. It's like you smacking God in the face. So she like, would you want to get up there on Judgment Day and have to look at God after all the times you just smacked him?
And you didn't repent right before you died.
And then she's like, I mean, it just makes you look at things like, dang, I really do this man dirt for art, and he do so much for me. And then how could you, like, could you imagine having the patience that God has to have?
Man.
Or she just did this to me. But I'm gonna forgive her. I'm gonna give her another chance. She trying. No, every last one of us be like, no, I am not fooling with that person.
No more,
no,
right.
it's over. But no, God just keep, and that just make you think like, I can't believe it.
Right. I know I always have this vision of just like God shaking his head. I be like, man, Jesus. I know I was driving through the car the other day, and I was just, for some reason, I just had Jesus just like, I'm like, Lord, I don't want you shaking your head at me. And this is like, because I know one of the things that I struggle with is like, you know, not that I struggle with trusting him, but like, even like a simple thing, like if you pray, like, okay, Lord, you know, you praying this and you sincere about it or whatever, you mean it. And then it's like, okay, this is a really.
I have a lifelong question. Really, it's about heaven and hell. What is it? What is heaven and hell? Is it a place that you go? Is it? Depends on your decision. What is heaven and hell?
Somebody want to take this?
Alright, sis, go ahead.
I want somebody else to take it, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jessica. I see you.
Oh, girls.
Crystal ain't said nothing.
Man, go Crystal. It's yours.
Sister Crystal?
I know Pastor.
Well, the way I've heard it described, hell is the absence of God, so everything that's opposite of God is hell. Like your worst nightmares, basically.
That is a good.
That's not how it
Just be quiet all day. That is pretty awesome.